This is Chase Cologne with Merit Holdings. In this video, what I'm going to do is walk you through the mindset, the approach of, hey, would this homeowner fare better if I bought this property for investment purposes, or is it best off suited for another homeowner who will buy it after it's been listed on the open market and probably compete for it in such a strong market like we're in today. So that is my goal here, is to show you how I determine that this particular homeowner would fare better if she actually listed this home on the market. So the first thing that I asked her was, how much equity do you have in the property? Another way of asking that actually is how far, what is your reinstatement costs, which is this right here. And that includes everything, such as, because this home, guys, was in foreclosure. Actually, I should have mentioned that. This home, the owner was in default on her first mortgage, and she had a lot of equity in the property, but she just couldn't keep up with the payments anymore since she had lost her job. So it was a rough situation for her. So she owed this amount, right? If she's going to sell her house, this amount right here has to be paid off in cash. And for her, she didn't have that. This wasn't an option right here. So the next question I asked her, no, I can't ask her this, but the next piece of data that I needed to figure out was the value. Now, I could tell that she wanted to sell and that she needed to. So I came over to look at the property, and I determined later that the property was worth about $325,000, conservatively speaking. That being said, her equity then was approximately $235,000, and you could see here this equity is much lower, and I'll show you why in a sec. But based on this value and these reinstatement costs with the loan balance, she had about $235,000 worth of equity. So if I'm going to buy this as an investment property, what I need to know now is the rental value. I saw the property, I was in it, familiar with the market. The rental value was about $1,450, and that was per month. Obviously, and the next thing I'm looking at now are costs like this, okay? Annual taxes and holding costs. So every month it's going to cost me $1,000 in just utilities to hold on to this property, okay? And that's going to be another, I don't know what the 7,800 divided by 12 is, but we're already, close to 1,100 there. And this is before any financing. Okay, so before I'm even factoring in my mortgage payment and the interest, I'm already pretty close to $1,450. This property is not going to make money every month. Okay, so that was one of the first things that I saw that I needed to. It was kind of a red flag, saying, hey, this is not going to make a good rental property. Especially, with my $62,000 down payment here, that is not going to be a good return. If I'm not going to make that back from any rental income. There will be no rental income on this property. So I determined that if I was going to buy this property, and what you use is a mortgage schedule in order to figure this out, but I had to see what kind of payments would allow me to actually make money every month here. And I believe that at $280 the payments would have been low enough where I'd be making just like $100 a month. So that was another red flag, was that I don't think that I want to discount her down like that when she could get $325 for it. I just didn't want to rent it out for that this silly cash flow amount. So her equity at $280, or if I bought it for $280, her equity would only be 195 as opposed to 235 here. And the reason being for that is because I would have had to get it for this amount here. So the net to her would have been, this really would have been the net to the owner would be 125 if she sold it to me. So now the way we look at it is, okay, so we got our value here. What if she put it on the open market? Okay, well, for one, she has to pay me a commission that comes out of the equity, and that is $19,500. There's selling costs, if and that does not include the commission. That is like transfer, attorney, title, so that's another $3,000, and of course the reinstatement costs of $70,000 plus the remainder of the loan. Plus holding costs are about $1,000 a month. She was not paying, but it will accrue into the reinstatement amount. So let's just say it takes 90 days to close, which is fairly, we could sell houses. We actually guarantee that our listings sell within 60 days, or else we will buy the house for a fair price. So that was like another $3,000 in there. So now her equity, because we're using 325 as the real value of the house and not 280 as my proposed purchase price, she has $235,000 of equity. So this actually should really go up here. And now if you subtract this amount from this, you're left with 140. So hopefully that is pretty clear to you guys. Again, the hard part is explaining all this and not actually doing it. But you could see here that she would have fared better from listing it on the open market as opposed to selling it to me. And this is kind of how I presented it to her. So she would, and it actually sold more. I listed this house for about $318, and it sold for, I want to say, like $340 or something, and it actually appraised. So she realistically made like, geez, I think she actually made like $160 in total off this property, as opposed to where she would have only made $125. So I hope that draws it out for you guys. Again, if any of this is confusing, you can just text me, call me, Facebook chat me, whatever. My phone number is 973-981-2131. So yeah, I hope that you can now see how we look at these particular situations. And again, all these videos are done separately, but when we actually make offers, we're doing literally the same thing. We're doing this kind of, we're doing all these different viewpoints to see which one is most appropriate. And you could usually tell within the first few minutes of talking to that homeowner on the phone, like particularly in this case, it was the reinstatement costs, her equity, and the rental value and the holding cost that told me that she's better off selling on the market. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, as well as the next video. Take care now.